For years, using artificial intelligence in business required a specialized team, data scientists, engineers, infrastructure. Today, something quieter is happening. AI capability is being packaged in interfaces that require no code at all, no model training, no deployment pipelines, no technical background. This is not a dramatic breakthrough. It is a distribution shift, and distribution changes who gets leverage. In this video, we will examine 7.0 Code AI tools reshaping how businesses operate and, more importantly, what this shift tells us about the structure of modern work. Before we look at the tools individually, it helps to understand what has changed. In earlier phases of AI adoption, companies built systems. Now they configure systems. Instead of writing algorithms, teams adjust workflows. Instead of training models, they shape inputs and constraints. The intelligence is increasingly embedded. The advantage lies in orchestration. That distinction is subtle, but significant. Tool 1. Conversational AI for internal operations. Platforms such as ChatGPT allow teams to draft policies, summarize reports, analyze spreadsheets, and simulate customer interactions without writing a single line of code. But the value is not in generating text. It is in structured iteration. For example, a small business owner can paste customer feedback data into the system, ask for thematic clustering, request sentiment analysis, then generate a revised service policy based on recurring complaints. This replaces hours of manual review, not with automation alone, but with interactive reasoning. The system becomes a thinking partner. Tool 2. Workflow automation platforms. Systems like Zapier now integrate AI steps directly into business processes. Traditionally, automation moved data from one application to another. Now, the automation can interpret that data. For instance, when a support email arrives, the system can classify urgency, summarize the issue, draft a reply, and assign it to the correct department. No developer required. The change here is subtle. Automation is no longer mechanical. It is conditional. That changes scale. Tool 3. AI-enhanced customer communication tools. Platforms such as Intercom incorporate AI to manage live chat, recommend responses, and route inquiries. What matters is not chatbots replacing agents. It is escalation control. AI handles repetitive inquiries. Humans handle nuance. This reduces cognitive load. It also reveals patterns in customer behavior that were previously buried in transcripts. In many cases, the real value lies in the ellipse, not the automation. For Tool 4. Note Code AI website and content generators. Tools like Wix integrate AI to build layouts, generate copy, and optimize structure based on business type. Previously, launching a professional site required designers and developers. Now, configuration replaces construction. A founder answers structured questions. The system proposes structure. The human refines tone. This lowers the threshold for digital presence. But more importantly, it standardizes baseline quality. When baseline quality rises, differentiation shifts elsewhere, usually to strategy and brand clarity. Tool 5. AI-driven data dashboards. Platforms such as Tableau and Microsoft Power BI increasingly include natural language query systems. Instead of writing SQL queries, managers can ask, what were regional sales trends over the past quarter? The system translates language into analysis. The shift here is access. Insights that once required analysts are now available conversationally. This does not eliminate analysts. It changes their role from report builders to framework designers. They validate assumptions. They ensure interpretation is sound. Tool 6. AI-powered design platforms. Services like Canva incorporate generative image and layout suggestions. Small businesses can produce marketing materials, pitch decks, and social assets without professional design teams. But the deeper shift is iteration speed. Multiple variations can be generated instantly. A business owner can test visual directions rapidly. Design becomes experimental rather than static. The constraint moves from execution to taste. Tool 7. AI-enhanced document processing systems. Platforms such as DocuSign integrate AI to review contracts, flag anomalies, and extract key clauses. For small and mid-sized businesses, this reduces reliance on manual legal review for routine agreements. The system identifies risk patterns, highlights deviations, summarizes obligations. This is not legal replacement. It is risk filtering. And risk filtering changes decision speed. Across these 7 tools, a pattern emerges. The AI is rarely visible as a standalone feature. It is embedded, invisible, activated within familiar interfaces. Email, dashboards, design editors, workflow builders. The intelligence is ambient. This ambient quality is important, because when AI becomes ordinary, adoption increases. What does this mean for everyday businesses? First, capability expands without headcount expansion. A small team can handle support, analytics, marketing, and documentation more efficiently. Second, the cost of experimentation decreases. You can test marketing copy flows, test landing pages, without committing engineering resources. Third, role expectations evolve. Employees are no longer valued only for execution. They are valued for configuration, for deciding which workflows should exist, for designing oversight mechanisms. There are misconceptions worth addressing. One is that zero-code AI tools eliminate the need for technical understanding. In practice, they increase the need for systems thinking. Someone must understand how data flows, where errors can occur, how automation interacts with human review. The interface may be simple. The implications are not. Another misconception is that these tools produce identical outcomes for every business. In reality, differentiation shifts upstream. The same tool can produce vastly different results depending on inputs, constraints, and refinement. The leverage lies in framing the problem well, not in accessing the tool. There is also a behavioral change taking place. Businesses are becoming more comfortable delegating micro decisions to AI, drafting first responses, sorting data, suggesting layouts. Each delegation is small, but cumulatively they reshape workflows. Over time, this produces quieter organizations, fewer repetitive tasks, more emphasis on exception handling. At a system level, zero-code AI tools represent the consumerization of enterprise capability. What once required IT departments now requires configuration panels. This lowers barriers to entry. It also increases competitive pressure. When advanced capability becomes accessible to all, strategic clarity becomes the differentiator, not tool access. It is important to remain measured. Zero-code AI does not eliminate complexity. It redistributes it. The complexity moves from coding to coordination, from model building to governance, from execution to judgment. Businesses that recognize this shift early tend to adapt smoothly. Those that treat AI as a novelty often struggle with integration. The broader implication is structural. Artificial intelligence is transitioning from specialized function to embedded layer, similar to cloud computing, similar to mobile connectivity. Once embedded, it stops being discussed as innovation. It becomes assumption, and assumptions shape behavior. For business owners and operators, the question is not which tool is most powerful. The better question is, where in our workflow does friction exist? Where are humans performing repetitive classification, summarization, or routing tasks? Those are often the highest leverage insertion points. Zero-code AI works best when applied to friction, not ambition. In conclusion, the rise of zero-code AI tools is not about replacing teams. It is about redistributing cognitive effort. Routine interpretation becomes automated. Strategic interpretation becomes amplified. Small businesses gain structural capability. Large businesses gain coordination speed. The transformation is steady, incremental, often unnoticed, but it is redefining how modern organizations operate, quietly, systematically, and with long-term consequences that extend far beyond a single software interface. This is Neural Pulse Lab, careful analysis, clear systems, and the quiet shifts shaping intelligent work.